everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivianoseni. On this channel I talk about everything nursing lifestyle, motherhood, beauty and all that stuff. Well, to stick around with me, to my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back, and if this is the first time you're coming across this channel, consider subscribing. You will not regret it, and trust me, it is free. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's very important to everybody. As a nurse working in the care home, in the NHS, or even in the private hospital, you would benefit from this topic. And like you already know from the title of the video, yes, we're talking about understanding your pay slip and all the little nitty-gritties in your pay slip, understanding what it is about and what's been deducted from your pay slip, so you're sure you're not being cheated of your hard-earned money. Basically, our pay slip is a document that shows how much you've earned over the month, your tax, your deductions, your insurance, your NIN, which is national insurance deductions, and if you are in the pension scheme, it also shows your pension. So as a nurse, I'm sure you want to be sure that you're not being shortchanged in your payments, and you want to be sure that you're getting all that you are due from all your hard-earned, worked, ungodly hours. Okay, so because of that, I'm doing this because of my experience personally with my pay. I have noticed that sometimes, not just my experience, with a few people also, I've noticed that sometimes you are not paid what you are supposed to get, or you're paid some and you're not paid all. But if you don't have an understanding of what it is that you are being paid for and how these payments come in, you wouldn't know when you have not been paid or when you've been overpaid. And this is a good thing about knowing your pay slip. If you are overpaid, you can quickly identify it and not spend that money, because if you spend that money, the next month they're going to do what we call a recovery, and this recovery, they will take all your money, and without caring if you have anything left, they'll tell you it's a recovery of the money that you've been overpaid. Also, a good thing is that if you are being underpaid, you can identify this and follow it up so that you can get your money in the next month's salary. So there's no point working so hard. At the end of the day, find out that you're being owed a whole lot of money. It can be annoying and it's not very nice. And so because of this, I'm doing this video just to educate us on what is in our payslip. And this is the same for anybody who's working in a private hospital, NHS, or the care home, or even an agency. I'm going to be showing you a video of what it looks like with the agencies and what it looks like with the NHS. Okay, so and for the care homes, it's just going to be the same kind of template. Just understand what is inside, and that is what this video is about. I'm showing you basically three pay slips. A pay slip that starts from as a pre-registered nurse, a pay slip for when you become a registered nurse, and also a pay slip of when your skill increases on the band 5. So you can see how these values increase and what you should look out for basically in your payslip. Okay, so I have with me here a payslip. I've taken out the personal details of it. So if you look closely onto this payslip, you see that the payslip has an assignment number, which is basically your payroll number. You have your employee name, the name of your hospital. You also have the department where you're working. You have the job title, which is a preceptorship nurse. You have the pay scale, which is band 5, review body band 5. This is review because basically they review these bands from year to year, and you can see that it's NHS. And you have the salary or your wage per year, and then you have the inclusive date. This inclusive date is the date in which your name was included in the payroll, from which you can now begin to be paid as a worker. And then your hours of work, as you can see, there is 37.5 hours. Some people's hours can be 33 hours, can be 23 hours, all depending. And then you have the salary and the wage there again per year. On the next column, you have the tax office name, and this is the office where your tax is being deducted in the UK. And for that, you see it's Taunton in the southwest. Tax office reference number, That's a reference number that identifies you with the HRM revenue. Your tax code is the code which determines how much you're being deducted as per tax every year or every month. And then your national insurance number, which is peculiar to everybody. And then down now to the pay. You see the basic pay on there, and then you see work that you've done, that you've earned, and then what has been paid you. The rates and the amount it all amounts to. So you have your work earned and your pay due and the rate that you have been paid, and then the amount that has been paid. The basic pay, the basic hours you should work full-time on 7.5 hours is 162.95 hours a month. If you work more than this, it's overtime. Okay, and the rate as a pre-certificate nurse was basically 9.9, as you can see there, 9.9261 per hour. All right, and now what I'm gonna be particular about on this video is the enhancements in your pay, the public holidays, your night duties, and any extra bonuses that you're accrued. So if, for instance, you've done like 2 weekends or Sundays, in your pay slip it should reflect on here. As you can see in this pay slip, it says basic pay, bank holiday enhancement, night duty enhancement, Saturday enhancement, Sunday enhancement, and then weekend pay enhancement. Now this is the reason why I'm making this video. Most of the times when we work in the NHS and we've done weekends, most of these offices do not collate your weekend enhancements, your Sunday enhancements, and your Saturday enhancements. And these are the reasons that your pay may not be looking interesting. So basically, you should be looking out for your salary and ensuring that the amount of weekends that you've done in a month is being reflected in your salary. And how do you know this? In the place where it says night duty enhancement, you should total and tally to the amount of nights that you've done. And where you see the bank holiday, if you've done any bank holiday, take note of it and ensure that it is reflecting on your pay. Sometimes you might have done 2 or 3 nights and they just pay you for 1. Sometimes you might have done 2 or 3 or 4 weekends and you're just paid for 2. And I'm saying this because it's happened to me and it's happened to a few friends. Now, I remember a friend who just came to me, and so she just came to the country and then she had received a salary 1 or 2 times, and I'm like, you've been working weekends, I'm sure you're really enjoying so much money. And she was like, it's just normal basic pay. I'm like, what do you mean by that? I had a look at pay slip, and lo and behold, she was not paid any weekend enhancements. She was not paid any. Someone who has been working back to back on Sundays, whose salary was supposed to be ×2 for working back to back on Sundays, she had not been paid any enhancements. Quickly, I told her to call payroll. She called payroll and she was refunded to the tune of about £1,000. £1,000, I'm telling you, that is what she was refunded. I personally have recovered so much, even presently for my last month's salary. Even on your bank contracts, the same thing can happen. Sometimes you're giving bonuses and enhancements on your bank just for people to come and do extra shifts. And sometimes if you do 3 or 4 shifts, they pay you on a normal bank rate and forget to pay you those enhancements or bonuses for doing bank shifts. But then I've learned from experience, so I always go back and check my bank pay slip and see that I have been paid all my monies. And 9 out of 10 times they have not paid me all my money. I still have like 2 or 3 shifts outstanding, which I have emailed them to pay me, and they've promised to put it in my forthcoming salary in the next month. So if I didn't know about this, or if I didn't always check my pay slip, I wouldn't know that that was going on. So it's very important that you check your pay slip every month. Check the amount of nights that you've done, check the amount of weekends that you have done, and ensure that you have been paid all your monies. And for those in the care homes whose monies are usually stable and it's just per hour, all you need to do is to check that the number of hours you've worked in the month is what has translated to your money, because if they don't calculate all the hours that you have done appropriately, your pay is not correct. So if you work in a care home, always check the number of hours that you've done as overtime has been paid for, and that all the enhancements and the bonuses that has been promised you has been paid. If you work in a care home, do check your pay slip and ensure that all the extra monies that has been promised for working extra hours has been paid. And if you have enhancements for doing nights, which I guess is not the case except in some few care homes, check that you've been paid the equal amount of your night duties in your pay slip, because 9 out of 10 times, like I said, there is always an error. I mean, I can count how many times I've received my pay and it is accurate. Well, I think it's just the human factor, but then what can we do about it? So you did see the pay slip of a band 4. Presently, going in as a band 4, you should be getting up to 20,000 or 22,000 if you are well paid. And then, but if it's in the care home, you should be earning way more than that, because in the care home already earning up to about £13 per hour as startup. And that's for the preceptorship nurse. And for the staff nurse, you have that these figures have changed slightly, okay, and then you see it increasing up to a 22, and the inclusive date has changed to June 2018. So that was the date that date will reflect when you were included into that band, and it is expected that every year your pay should increase in the band scale on that date. So if, for instance, you were included in April, or you were included in May or November or December, or whenever you pass your OSCE, your increase in your band scale is going to happen on that same month every year. So my advice is, whenever you pass your OSCE, as soon as possible, please do ensure that you are included into that band 5 scale, so you can start get paid your money as quickly as possible. Now you can see tax payments. Okay, you can see your total tax paid, pension, and then in deductions, that payee there is your tax. NIA is your national insurance contribution, and then if you pay your accommodation fee through your hospital like I do, then you will see accommodation. For instance, you can see here recovery advance pay. Now this is some monies which probably I have owed the hospital as a result of an exam or anything. Now that is being deducted. So if, for instance, you've been overpaid or something, in the same vein, they are just gonna include that recovery. Even if it's £1,000, they'll take it and keep you in a minus. So always do check your salary to ensure that you're not being overpaid and that you're not being underpaid. Okay, and then you see the total amount and then the net pay. You see, £233. Nobody cares. Now this was a period when I was obviously in maternity leave and I was not working, so that was what came to my account from the hospital. However, I had my maternity allowance, which was keeping me up and going, and these monies were the monies that were taken out from my salary. Okay, I also want to ensure you under pay rise. For instance, you did notice that I did mention, and this is why I always encourage you to always negotiate your salary. I did mention that when I came to the UK, I negotiated my salary and asked for more, but however, it took them time to implement it. But then when it was implemented, they paid me like a recovery also of all the money they owed me when I became a registered nurse, and paid me to the tune about £2,500 if I'm correct, extra. So as a result of my negotiation, my pay was not just 24, so when 22,000 anymore. So when I increased in pay, it increased up to about 26. It's good in a way, but also you get stagnant quickly, because in the NHS, if you get to your highest point on your band 5, you cannot go further except to go into a band 6 role, which you have to apply for. Anyways, my monies was paid me, and you can see that the inclusive date is changed. So I always tell you to try and negotiate your salaries, because I know it's possible. I know people who come from Dubai who are already earning 30,000, which is the highest band scale based on experience and based on where they have worked before. So you can do same. Now I've shown you what it is that is in your salary. Ensure you always check your weekend enhancements. Ensure you check your night enhancements. Ensure you check your Sunday and Saturday enhancements, that these have all been paid and that you're not being deducted any money that you do not know. Sometimes when you have been overtaxed, they usually do a refund. This will reflect as an R on your payslip. Also look out for things like that. Anything you do not understand your payslip, my dear, do well to call and ask. Verify what it is so that you're not losing money from deductions that you did not know in your salary. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions concerning this, do well to ask me in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer in the next video. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, share this video, subscribe. Do well to subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do well to join us in one of our live sessions one of these days. Thank you for always being there. Bye bye.